Okay, so today we will be talking about three important services. First is SNS, SES, and SQS. Okay, now all three of them will more or less look like same, but the way they operate is different. Now SNS stands for Simple Notification Service. Notification service. Now this notification service is basically used for sending bulk messages. Okay, when I say bulk messages, assume that you have to send some promotional messages. So one second. Okay, so this notification works on, if you're sending a bulk message, it works on pub sub model. Now, what is pub sub model? Now, as a publisher, I will publish the message, but you will only receive the messages if you subscribe for that. Okay, so I'll show you that first, and then I will come back to this theory part. So if I am here at my this thing, I will go to this place, simple notification service, or simply I can come here and say SNS. So if I say SNS, I can see this simple notification service here, and I say SNS manages messages topic from pub sub. So pub is publisher, sub is subscriber. Now let me go inside and see why and how it works. So it says Amazon notification service will help you to send messages. So let me go ahead and try send messages. So it is basically used for messaging services that enables to decouple microservices or distributed system architecture. Okay, so please remember these keywords, microservices and distributed system architecture, because if you are preparing for any examination, certification and all, you may get questions related to this. Now here, the first thing what we do is we create a topic. So topic is nothing but a subject based on which you would like to send message. So let me say I'm creating a topic. I'm saying promotional message. Okay, so I'm creating a promotional message. I'll say next. Here, the messages which you send is of two types. One is FIFO and the other one is standard. So one thing which you should know is that when I send messages, not all the messages are sent at the same time. The message is broken into small packets and it is sent over the network. If you are using standard, best effort is made that the messages which is sent in an order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that, it will be sent. Means first message, then second message, then third message, like that. And it is expected that at least once the message will be delivered. So if there is a message, it is broken into 30 pieces. It will make sure that first component 1 will go, then component 2 will go, then component 3 will go. So it is just an effort. It is not being guaranteed that it will go like that only, but it is just an effort that the ordering will be maintained and the message will be delivered only once. Okay, there is a possibility some message can be delivered twice. Again, the receiver will make sure that when it is displaying only once. And if it is not getting in an order, it will arrange and show it to you. That is the responsibility of the receiver who is receiving the message. But it has high throughput, means at the same time, many messages can be sent. And it can be integrated with SQS, Lambda, HTTP, HTMS, email, mobile, and all these things. Whereas if you go with FIFO, okay, FIFO, it strictly preserves the ordering. So first message will go, then second will go, then third will go, like that. Every message is exactly delivered once. Okay, this is the major difference. Here it is at least delivered once, means some message can be delivered twice, thrice. Order is not maintained. Here, order is maintained, and at least once the message will be delivered. It has a high throughput, but only it can publish 300 messages per publisher per second. Here it is much higher than that. In fact, it is n numbers. The numbers are not fixed. You can send any number of messages. And here only it can be integrated with SQS. So you may be asked a question where it says SNS types. So SNS is of two types, FIFO and standard. Standard is less costlier, has some drawbacks, but you can send bulk messages. FIFO better, but again, it is bit more costlier and has limitations in terms of the messages which will be sent per second. So you can come here and give a name. So if you choose FIFO or choose standard, whatever you choose, you can come here and give a name. Like I have given a name as promotional messages. What name would you like to display? So I would like, when the mail goes, what mail display would you like to send? So I will say year-end sale, something like this. Year-end sale. Hurry up. Hurry up. Something like this. So this will be my message heading or the subject. In case you want to send an encrypted message, you want to make sure the access policy means only these users will receive the message, and re-entry policy in the sense if the message is not received, you will try to re-entry. So I'm leaving all these things as default. Delivery status. So if the message is not delivered or delivered twice, all these logging details will come. Tag again optional. So I'm leaving all these things and directly going and saying I want to create a topic. Now, once this topic is created, the display name is this. The topic owner is the account ID which I'm using, and then you get a ARN, which is Amazon Resource Name. It is of standard and the name is promotional message. Now from here, if you see, you can publish the messages, but the messages will be received only if I have a subscriber. So I will go down here. And here, if you go to subscription, you will see there is no subscriber right now. So I can go ahead and subscribe. Subscribe in the sense I can enroll for receiving the messages. So when many times when you go to some website, they will say that, would you like to get notifications, updates from the website, something like that. So I will go ahead and create a subscription. Basically, I will select a protocol. How would you like to receive the messages? Via email, via SMS, via SQS. So I will choose email. Via email, I would like to receive the messages. What is the endpoint? So basically it is asking, what is your email ID? So you can give your email ID here. Okay, you can come and give your email ID here. And it says, after your subscription is created, you must confirm it. Means you should confirm that you want to receive it. And then you can, and there is something called dead letter queue. So dead letter queue is nothing but if the message is not delivered, you would like to know why is it not delivered. So after a certain time, there will be a span of time. So let me say 10 days. Okay. So if you enable this, it will wait for your message to be delivered. Okay. If the message is delivered, very good. If the message is not delivered, it will come to your dead letter queue. When it comes to dead letter queue, you can do the analysis like why the message is not delivered. Okay. And once it is done, you can go ahead and create a subscription. So let me disable this. As of now, I don't want to enable this. So let me go ahead and create a subscription. Now, if you see here, it is saying pending confirmation, means the email ID should go ahead and subscribe to this. So if I go to my Gmail account, I might have received an email from this service. So if you see here, I have received an AWS notification subscription confirmation year-end hurry up. So here it is asking me to confirm the subscription. So if I go and click here, I will see the subscription is confirmed. So your subscription is confirmed. If I come back here and if I refresh from pending confirmation, I will get this as confirmed. Okay, just let me come here and refresh this. Okay, now I can see it is confirmed. Now I can go back and I can go and send messages. So I can publish a message. So what is the subject? If you want to send subject, so I will say end of year sale, end of year sale, big discount. Okay. Then there is something called TTL. TTL is time to live, means till what duration the message will be active. So it is not like after 20 days, some message will be received. So I'll come here and say 60, means till 60 seconds, this message will be active. If it is not copied, if it is not delivered within that time, it will automatically die and go to dead letter queue. Okay. What would you like to give here? What message would you like to give? So you can do a custom or you can write any other message. So you can write a message like this. Hi, customer. You can say Happy to announce year-end sale. Okay. And you can say something like this. Thanks. I will say customer care. Something like this. Okay. So I'm trying to send promotional messages to all the customers who have enrolled for this. Okay. Something like this I did. And I can go ahead and say publish the message. Now, once you publish the message, this guy should have received that email. If I go back, I can go ahead and check this. See here, year-end sale, end of year sale, big discount. I got this. Okay, hurry up. And this is the message which I got from this thing. Now, there is a small thing here. If you want and you say reply, there is no reply. Means you cannot reply back to this email. Okay. So, in short, if I have to talk about SNS, it is a simple notification service which is used to send bulk messages to your customers. If there are thousands and thousands of customers, you can send bulk messages to all of them at a regular interval at a very low cost using SNS. The only problem here is that the customers cannot reply back. They cannot reply back. See here, at the no reply at the rate sns.com. But this works on a pub sub model, means the publisher will publish the message, but it will only be received by subscribers who have subscribed for this service. If you have not subscribed, you will not be receiving the messages. Okay, at any point of time, you can also unsubscribe, but you cannot reply back. So there is a service which will allow you to not only send one-way messages, but you can send both messages like SES. So SES is Amazon's simple email service. Email can be sent and received, but here you cannot send bulk messages. You can send one-to-one messages like normal message how you send. If you log into your Outlook or Gmail or anything, you send messages to a group of users. You cannot simply broadcast a message. So SES or simple email service will be used to send message to individual person. Now here, if you can come and create an identity. Creating an identity is nothing but creating a domain. So if you own something, let me say I own pizza.com. So I can create a vikas@pizza.com, but I don't own anything. So I will go with the normal Gmail address. So my Gmail ID is kumar.vikas166798. So if I send email, I will only be able to send email like this. Okay. And then assign a default configuration set. Okay. As of now, there's no default configuration set. Leave it and just come here and say confirm the identity. And here, if you come, you can see it is unverified, means I have to verify this. Again, come back here. Amazon Web Services. It says verify this. So just click on this link. And this, congratulations, it has been verified. So now if you refresh this email service has been verified. It will be verified. Now you can send test emails. So from here, you can format it or raw messages. You can send to anyone. So scenario. So let me say complaint. So I will say, hi customer. CUS. Hi customer. I will say bill not paid. Monthly bill due. Something like this. Thanks. Your mobile network. Some message. I'm just sending some message. And you can go ahead and send a test email. So you can come here. And you can see this is done. So the message will be sent. Okay. Let me just come back here and check if I've received any messages. If not received here, then it might have gone to spam. So I can check in the spam folder. Let me check where it went. See here, complaints. So SES has sent me a message. Okay, but if I want 0 minutes ago, if I want, I can go ahead and reply back to this. Okay, so this is SES. So SES is used to send two-way messages, but you cannot send bulk messages. So there's a very common interview question. It will ask you, what is the difference between SNS and SES? Okay, so you have to tell these differences. That SNS stands for notification service, works on pub/sub model, and then no reply back. You cannot reply back. Here in SES, it is one-to-one messaging, one-to-one messaging, but you can reply back. No bulk messaging here. The third component which we will be discussing about is SQS. Now let me give you an example here. Now let me say that here there are two things, producer and consumer.
In the SES, actually one-to-one it is there, right? One-to-one means like we'll provide the mail ID of the customer and he need to confirm and again.
No. In SES, you don't have to confirm anything. See, you are the source. So if you come back here, see here, this verification I did because I am the source. Now I can send email to anybody. Okay.
Anybody, and with the mail ID, you should provide that mail ID, right?
Is SES used in real time for companies? Yes, there are many companies which use SES at real time. So let me say if you raise a complaint, okay, so they will send you an email back from their SES account so that you receive the email, and if you are confirmed, like if your bill payment is done, then you can go ahead and say, see, this is my bill payment, this is the attachment. So like that, there are channels where you want a two-way communication. So if you want a two-way communication, you go with SES. But if you want one-way communication, then you go with SNS. Okay.
And Vikas, here if you want to change the domain, so that's for example,
if you
real
own
time,
a domain name. So in real time, if you want to own a domain name, you can delete this. So whatever you have created, you can delete this. And here you can create an identity with your own domain name. So let me say from godaddy.com or for any other place, you have a mail ID. Like let me say I have this domain name at the rate, let me say radhamohan.com. radhamohan.com. So this is my mail ID. So this domain, I own it. So I'm an employee of Radha Mohan. So I will say vikas@radhamohan.com. And then you can do everything what you want.
Okay. And how about these charges for this all? Like
SES and all are very nominal charges, very, very nominal charges. Okay. So you can practice as much you want. It is very, very nominal. So if I go to these places now, SNS charges. See here, 1 million requests if you send, it will be $0.05. So it is very, 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 very much free. First 1 million requests are free. So 1 million is around 10 lakh. So you can send 10 lakh messages free of cost. And each message can be 256 KB. Okay. So it is quite inexpensive, very much inexpensive.
Yeah, and Vikas, see now we had just example one-to-one mail ID we inserted and we send a mail or we send a notification. But in bulk, if any Excel sheet, we need to connect with the database and to fetch all of one
then
at
you
a
have
time.
to go with SQS.
Okay. Sorry.
SNS. Sorry. If you want to send bulk messages, SNS. Simple notification service. You have to use SNS.
Okay, I mean to say here, like at a time, multiple email IDs we can
comma, semicolon. If you want to give, and you can do like that. But
all right,
in general, if we have to send bulk messages, we go with SNS.
All right, got it. Yeah.
Okay. Now, the last thing here is SQS. So there are two significance of this. SQS is the first service which Amazon launched somewhere around 2012. Now, because it is the first service, it has some importance. At least when you go for exam and all, they will ask you a lot of questions on this, at least when you go for certification exam. Okay, so if I go here and say SQS, it is a queue service and it is a managed queue service. Now, when I say queue, what do you mean by that? So let's talk what a queue stands for. Now, let me say I'm standing at a ticket counter. So this is a ticket counter and I want a ticket. So there will be a queue where there will be a number of people standing in the queue. So these people, they want a ticket. These people, they want a ticket. But the one who is dispatching the ticket, he is not dispatching at a very high speed. Okay. Now, because they are not, because this is the producer. Now, because the producer is not dispatching the tickets at a very high speed, the consumers have to wait. A real-time example can be you're logged into your machine, you do Control P, and you send 1,000 pages to your printer to print it. But the printer is not that fast enough to process all the 1,000 pages at the same time. So slowly it will print one by one. Now, exactly the same thing happens in our AWS world. So there are two items here. One is producer and the other one is consumer. So producer is very fast and the consumer is comparatively slow. So what will happen that if producer is producing 1,000 messages per second, this guy is only, let me say, consume 10 messages per second. What will happen? It means the other 990 messages will have to wait. During a passage of time, let me say for 100 seconds I ran, the count has become some 99,000. There are high chances that these messages may get lost because they are waiting. So what Amazon does is they bring something called SQS in between. So SQS is a managed queue service. So all the messages which are generated are pushed here and they will wait here in the queue till this consumer is ready to consume it. So let me say, again, the same example I'll give. So I am using something as a producer and something as a consumer. So producer is very fast. So let me just come here. I'm writing something to my database. Okay. So database is my consumer. And my web is my producer. So in the web, there are lots of messages getting generated. And the DB write operation is not at pace. So whatever messages will come will first sit in the queue, SQS. It will wait in the queue till my consumer is free. Once the consumer is free, it keeps on consuming the task. So one thing I can assure here is none of the tasks are lost. Okay. So two things which I came to know here is it's a managed queue service and it works on this producer consumer model. So if I come here, Amazon's SQ is a high throughput, means from SQS, nobody is stopping. It's a system to system messaging service. You can use the queue to decouple heavyweight processing. So producer is producing a lot of messages and it will be stored in this buffer and then dispatched in a batch manner once your consumer is free. So here again, these microservices, serverless applications will be available to process them. Then it will be given to that. So if you come here, this is your queue service. You can see here, producer is producing a lot of messages, and consumer is somehow not ready to consume everything at the same speed. So these messages go and sit in the SQS and stays there till my consumer is ready to consume them. The moment my consumer is ready to consume it, the consumer will consume and none of the messages will be lost. So by this, I decouple my application. Okay. Now it is highly scalable. FIFO is there. It is durable, means the data remains intact. You can see it is secure. Batch operations can be done. And it is used by companies like EMS, NASA, and then many other companies are there, which is using this. Pricing again, very, very cheap. Now, if I come here and I say that I want to create a queue, again, the queue is of two types, standard and FIFO, like how you saw some time back. FIFO means whatever messages are being generated, there will be first in, first out. Means if the message is generated first, it will be delivered first. Second, it will be delivered second. So the order is preserved and the message will be delivered exactly once. Here, efforts are made that it goes in the same order and is delivered at least once. Okay. So here, obviously, when I will be sending messages, you will not see like 1,000 messages. I will be only sending one message and queue will be empty. So it will get processed also, but let me show you. So if you come here and say my SQS queue, okay. And it says visibility timeout means till what? So if you want to know what is visibility timeout, info. So you can come to the info and read about this, okay? So visibility timeout means, let me say there are 3 consumers. So if one consumer is trying to process a message, for others, it will not be visible. So that is visibility timeout. Delay. So if you send the message now, immediately it will be processed or it will go after a delay. So that is delay. Receive wait time. Immediately you want the message to be delivered or it should wait. Then message retention period. So if the consumer is not ready, so you would like to wait in the queue. How much time would you like to wait in the queue? So I can give this like 4 minutes. You can wait here for 4 minutes. And within 4 minutes, if it is not delivered, then it will go to my DL queue, a dead letter queue. See here, dead letter queue. So dead letter queue will help me to know, okay, this message was not delivered. Then I will be able to find out why it was not delivered. Then one message can be of 1 KB and maximum 256 KB. So you can say the message size. Then I will use basic policy and I will show you the way to work on this. So let me just come here and say create a queue. Now here, you can go ahead and start the work. So this is the message. Send and receive messages, okay? So I will send only one message, so it will be quickly delivered. Hi, processing. Now, something like this, okay? Delivery delay, I gave 0 seconds, means immediately it should be received. So if you see here, as of now, the polling is this thing and the sent and all these things are nothing, 0, okay? I will go ahead and send this message. See, send the message. Your message has been sent and ready to be received. Means it will first go to the queue. Okay, see here, poll for the message. See here, the message got received. Message is 1. Polling means it will go and check whether message is available or not. So you can stop polling. So you can see this message. It was of 20 bytes and it has been received immediately. So this is the message which has been received by the consumer and this is the body of the message. So queue will be effective and it will be very good if you have thousands of such messages and these thousands of messages are not able to process by my consumer. Okay. Now you don't have to do a lot of hands-on on this, but at least know in theory that there are 3 components, SNS, SES, and SQS. All 3 of them looks similar, but then they are different.
SQS is one way, and like producer consumer user, right? Like
yes,
producer sends messages and consumer like receives.
Yes. Okay. Fine. Now let me move ahead. So these are a few components which you should know. Now, one of the major components which you should also know is networking. Now, I would see if you have time, I would want you to read all these things. See, if you go to, let me see if there is a question here. Can we increase the queue size? There is a limitation. So you cannot just randomly go and increase the queue size like anything. But yes, you can increase the queue size. In fact, it is serverless. So you manually don't do anything. Based on how much request is coming, the queue size will automatically increase. So to answer your question, can I increase the queue size? Yes, you can increase the queue size. Okay. Now, if you have time, I will always want you to read two things. ELB FAQ. Please read this. If you're preparing for exam, okay, you will get a lot of questions from here. So altogether 65 questions are there. Out of 65, I can guarantee at least 10 questions will be from here. You have to just read through. Okay, there are many questions here. There are many, and at least 15 questions will be from here. Similarly, if you want to know about networking, you can read VPC FAQ. Again, a lot of questions will be here, but again, some 10 to 15 questions will be from here. So if these two FAQ, ELB, then this VPC, if you read this much, at least 20 to 25 questions out of 65 will be coming from here. Okay. It will not only be very helpful for you for your exam, but also be very helpful for your day-to-day work. Many a times you will see there are interview questions getting directly answered here. Okay. I'm not asking you to memorize anything. This is a lot. There are a lot of things. Many questions are there. Many questions are there. So I'm not asking you to memorize anything. Just go and read it like a novel. Make notes so that tomorrow when you want, you will be able to answer the questions. But there are many questions here, okay? And you get direct questions from here in interview, in certification. So at least ELB FAQ and VPC FAQ, you should read. If you read, you will get a lot of knowledge and lot of way to answer the question. So if I say, what is VPC? Okay. So if I have to come here and say, what is VPC? So it says isolated cloud resource. So whenever we go or we talk about cloud, one of the major thing which almost everybody will ask is that how secure is the cloud? Is our cloud secure? And if the cloud is secure, how are we going to manage it? So wait a second. So if you come here to VPC section, can I use both standard and no, at a time you can either use FIFO or you can use standard. Either of the two can be used. You cannot use both of them at the same time. Okay. Now, when you come here to VPC section, click on this, sorry, not click on here. You click on this, all regions, click on this. So you will see that by default, all the regions, so this is what I have already created. So forget about that. All the regions has 11111 VPC. This 111 VPC, which you see is basically a default VPC. So when you create an account with AWS, they give you a default VPC. So I just clicked on the VPC ID. If you come here, default VPC, yes. So Amazon says that networking is difficult. When you get started with AWS, I don't want you to dump with a lot of networking things because networking can be difficult. So Amazon is giving you a default VPC so that you can quickly get started and get your work done. But as and when you proceed, you will see that this default VPC is as good as it is not there. Why? Because inside this VPC, you have something called security group. And if you go to this security group, you will see that it is not stopping anything. See here. So I added these things. But in general, it is like this, all traffic, all means anybody can come inside and outbound. All traffic means anybody can go outside. So this service is as good as it is not there. It means I have a security guard at my home, but the security guard is not stopping anyone and it is allowing everyone to come inside and anybody can come inside and anybody can go outside. So what is the purpose of this? That's the reason when we start our work on cloud, the first thing which we do is we create a landing zone. So when you explain about your project, you have to say that I created a landing zone. Give me 1 minute. Okay. So when you say that I'm creating a landing zone, you're basically the first thing which you create is you go to the VPC dashboard and you create your own VPC. When you create your own VPC, you basically choose a region, and then in that region, yes, you choose a IP range. So let me come here.
Because can you explain more about landing zone?
Wait, I'll come to that. It was full-fledged thing. It's not just, I'm giving a brief of everything. So when you create a landing zone, you start here. You choose a address range. Say what address range you would like. So many companies, they own a address range or they own a IP address range. So let me say that my company owns this address range 192.168.0.0, 198.168.255. In short, they say 192.168.16. So let me see what does this mean. So to understand this address range thing, I will come to a website called cider.xyz and I will put that thing which it is saying 192.168, 192.168.0.0, and this is 16. Now, if I say 192.168.0.0.16, it means altogether you get 65,536 IP address. The first IP address is 168.0.1 and the last is 192.168.255.254. So basically, this is the first thing which you do. You go and start with your own VPC. Once you create a VPC, I will anyhow explain everything in detail. Once you create this VPC, the second thing is you create your IAM users. Because first time when you log in as a root user. As a root user, I told you, you have all the access, you can do everything. But down the line, you will not want your root user to be there. You will delete the root user and you will try to distribute his powers among admin, IAM admin, S3 admin, like that. And then you will have developers who will do the development. You will have guys who will monitor the application. So basically, all the access is not with one user. Rather, it is distributed among multiple users. So that is point number 2. Now, how to create a landing zone, how to create a VPC, all those things I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow, I will start with VPC and full-fledgedly, I will teach you what is the stuff and what are the ways in which you create a landing zone. In today's class, we majorly concentrated on 3 components, which was SNS, SES, and SQS. We just talked in brief about the topic which we will be discussing tomorrow, which is VPC. VPC stands for Virtual Private Cloud, and this Virtual Private Cloud makes your application secure on cloud environment, because cloud is something which is publicly accessible. Anybody can do anything on cloud. But if you are running your company, your application on cloud, the first thing which you will want is to make it secure. To make it you should be sure that unauthorized access is not there. So to make that thing happen, the first thing you do is you create a landing zone, which we will do tomorrow. And to create a landing zone, the first thing which you do is you create a VPC with your own custom stuffs. Okay, so I'll stop here. Now, anybody has any questions, please go ahead.
If I create EBS or volumes, EFS, and if I don't stop the service, will I get heavily charged?
Yes, EFS and all will be charged, heavily charged, yes.
But if I stop it, then that is fine.
No,
along with the
stop it means, okay, no problem. But if it is running in the background, you have not deleted it or you have not stopped it, then you will be charged.
Okay. I mean, the volume which is attached to the instance.
See, if you stop it, then it will not be charged. That's what I'm saying. So in my initial class only, I told that whenever you use something, use it. Once your work is done, stop it. If you don't stop, then charges will be there. Because simple thing, Amazon is not here to do charity. It is here to make money. So if you don't use it properly, then they will charge you.
Okay.
Okay. Fine, guys. See you then tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you.
Yep.